I am truly honored to be included in the stellar group of women being inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame, and congratulations to my sister honorees. But being honored these days sometimes brings with it close scrutiny of one's lives, beliefs, and actions. The result being that if one is deemed imperfect, as several previous nominees have been, notably Margaret Sanger, who mistakenly believed in eugenics, though her real views have been deliberately distorted, one can be canceled, something I want to discuss today. In Sanger's case, Planned Parenthood, the organization that grew out of her lifelong commitment to reproductive freedom for women, removed her name from their Manhattan headquarters. Given the recent overturning of Roe v. Wade, we might want to examine this decision, particularly because it raises the uncomfortable question, does a woman have to be perfect in order to be honored? Moreover, is cancel culture the same for women as for men? Canceling spread as a term and phenomenon in public consciousness with the Me Too movement. And I would be the first person to acknowledge that men like Harvey Weinstein or R. Kelly deserve to be canceled because of their demonstrated history of sexual violence and abusive behavior. The dictionary defines cancellation as omitting or deleting, removing or neutralizing each other's strength or effect. But I think it's important to point out that this is something that has already been done to women repeatedly through neglect, misunderstanding, hostility. Think Hillary Clinton's campaign for president, and most importantly, through our absence from the highest levels of political power, from museum walls and art history books, from public monuments, and a myriad of other places. Thus, it seems that the repudiation of Margaret Sanger needs to be seen in the context of our history, one in which, as I said, too many women's achievements have already been canceled by society. Moreover, we desperately need models for how to achieve change at a time when so many fiercely fought for rights are under attack by a ferocious right wing seemingly dedicated to reasserting patriarchal values. One might also describe them as our version of the Taliban, but with help from some women. As Bell Hooks pointed out, one doesn't have to be a woman to be a feminist. Conversely, one doesn't have to be a man to support patriarchy. When I was researching for the dinner party, I was inspired by the courage of our foremothers, including Margaret Sanger. It is difficult for young women to imagine the tremendous resistance encountered by early birth control advocates. Sanger, though repeatedly arrested for attempting to disseminate contraceptive information and equipment, continued her efforts throughout her lifetime because she believed that, quote, without the right to control one's own body, all other rights are meaningless. A lesson that sadly is going to have to be fought for all over again. Other women I learned about and from were the 19th century feminists, including the incredibly brave Sojourner Truth, one of the first people to recognize the intersection of race and gender, along with the towering figures of Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, whose theories sparked decades of agitation for women's rights? Should the discoveries of their racist inclinations cancel our tremendous debt to them for their contributions? To whom are we to turn for inspiration, for courage, and for knowledge, if not to our foremothers or other women who were, admittedly, flawed human beings? And young women need to learn from our history if they are to stand up to the reversal of the slow and difficult gains we have made over the centuries. One more point. Women are always expected to be perfect. When I teach, I have to help my students out of their tendency not to trust their ideas because they are not perfect. It always saddens me that they cannot say, as Lou Reed did, first thought, best thought. Thus, my question, one with which I will end my remarks: do women have to be perfect in order to be honored by history? Thank you.